Hey all, I'm Maya Gallagher. I work with the Fabric Minneapolis community, and I'm really excited to be working with Katie Anderson and our friends in Cloquet to make this trip happen. If you didn't hear, we're going backpacking in Colorado. The trip is long and awesome. It's June 17th through the 26th, and I'm pretty pumped. Here is what's going to happen in this little video. I'm going to talk about why I think you should go on this trip, what the trip's going to look like, costs and fundraising, the COVID measures, and how you can commit to this. So why should you come on this trip? That is pretty easy. It's going to be really fun. This is also a once-in-a-lifetime adventure. You are so lucky and cool, and I want to spend a week with you, and you want to spend a week with all the other people who are going on this trip. There's room for 11 youth, and I will be going, and one other adult will be going. It's going to be so much fun. This once-in-a-lifetime adventure is fun, and it also comes with some pretty awesome side effects, really wholesome, really good for you. And this is really the reason, like you're going to be changed when you're done with this, and that's amazing. So we're going to deepen our relationship with ourselves. We're going to challenge ourselves physically and emotionally. Climbing mountains is not easy work, friends. And that'll pull on our emotions and our bodies, like physically. It's going to be a challenge. But you guys know that taking a challenge on and overcoming that challenge means that we grow a lot. So there's going to be a lot of self-growth in this trip. Sometimes in our world, we get really distracted by all the busyness, the schedules, all those things. And I think to get to the core of who we are, we need to shock our system. So that is what this trip could do. You don't have to worry about your schedule or getting somewhere on time or whatever. Like when we're hiking on that mountain, you literally have to worry about okay, where am I going to go to the bathroom? Where am I going to eat? And what am I going to eat? And where am I going to sleep? It gets back to the basics of who we are as humans and who we want to be in the world. This trip, we are going to require your strengths. We want you to practice those all the time because this trip might be challenging and you're going to need all your strengths. This group is going to need it. This trip brings out everything, so you're also going to have time to work on your weaknesses. You might think you're invincible, but your weaknesses will show up at some point, and you're going to grow and work and practice on those too. We're going to deepen our relationship with others, and that's kind of the fun part of this trip. You almost never start being super tight, but you almost always end in this lovely group, this sense of belonging. Even if you don't like somebody very much, there's something about we just went through this thing together, and even though we disagree on a lot, you are a part of me and I am a part of you. We are changed because of this, and that's an incredible belonging feeling. Intimate relationships. In COVID times, sometimes we don't even get to hug each other right now, which is crazy. But we're going to be sleeping less than a foot from each other intense. This is going to be an intimate trip. We're going to spend hours and hours in a 15-passenger van. It's going to be intimate. So get ready for that. We're also going to get to practice being our best selves in a group. So often when you're working with a group, you have to put your own needs on pause and let the group needs and kind of pave the way and orientate yourself towards the group needs. And that's just a really good thing to practice. It can be hard and frustrating, but in the end, it's really worth it. There's a great saying that says, if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together. And we're definitely going to go far on this trip. We're going to deepen our relationship with God, or that kind of undercurrent of love that is always traveling through the world and really connects us all. We're going to have a lot of space for wondering and being open to what is possible. We're going to take the screens away from in front of our face and actually be able to like see and experience the real world. This is maybe one of the most important parts of this trip for me. Like, I need to get away from my screens. And it can be really incredible. You might not believe me, high schoolers, but it can be really incredible. We're also going to get a lot of time to practice listening. And I don't just mean like listening to like the birds or whatever. I mean listening with our bodies, listening to what the earth is telling us when we're pounding our feet up a mountain, listening with our arms as the sun is beating on them. Listening with our faces as the wind goes by, maybe listening as the rain pours on us. Rain is pretty personal and makes you feel very, very much alive. We'll see, and there'll be so much listening and realness, and that is where God lives. That is where the Spirit lives and awakens, and I'm really excited to share that with you all. All right, so here's the trip. We are going to leave on Friday morning, the 17th, and drive 6 or 7 hours to somewhere in Nebraska, where we'll make dinner in a church and sleep in the basement, most likely. The next day is a long drive, probably 8 to 9 hours, and we'll once again have dinner somewhere. We'll be in Colorado Springs, probably, or around there. Stay in a church basement. The third night we'll be at camp, so we'll only have like a 3 or 4 hour drive, which means we have time to stop at Garden of the Gods Park. I've never been there. It'll be a fun little touristy moment for us, and it'll be great. Then we'll end up at camp. So these next slides are put on by Rainbow Trail Lutheran Camp, and Compass Points is the program that we are working with. Fun fact about Rainbow Trail. So Katie Anderson, who works at the church in Cloquet, we know each other from working at camp, and 2 of our good friends from camp now like help run the Rainbow Trail Lutheran Camp. I really, really trust these people, and they are so passionate about what they do, and I know that they are going to take care of us. I know they're going to give us an incredible experience. And yeah, I'm excited to share that with you. So they're really excited to have us come, and that means a lot. When we get there, that first night, we're going to be learning how to pack our packs. It looks like we'll maybe even help pack our own food. And we're going to meet our guides. So on this trip, we get to go with 2 guides from the camp. They are experts. They are going to take care of us and make sure we have an excellent trip. Then we go out on trail. I think we'll probably be hiking 7 to 10 miles a day. We get to hike to a top of a mountain. Maybe there will be a beautiful like lake that we can dip our toes into. We're going to sleep in tents. We're going to cook our own meals. It's going to be a fabulous time. We'll come back to camp on Thursday. They're going to throw us a big barbecue dinner. I'm excited for that. And we'll get to sleep in a bed that night, which is great. Friday morning, we get to go whitewater rafting, kind of a really fun bonus that this camp gives you. And then Friday evening, we're going to be on our way and try to get 5 or 6 hours down the road on Friday, and then make it the next day all the way back home. That'll be a long driving day, but it'll be good to get back home after a week of being together. So that is the trip. Now we're going to move into the costs. So this trip is really expensive. I hated writing that number, but that's what it is. Rainbow Trail costs $500 to go to. But once again, they're going to give us an incredible product, and $500 is what an incredible product costs. We're going to take a 15-passenger van, and that's so we can all drive together, and the 2 adult leaders can share the driving. We don't expect adult leaders to pay for the trip because they are giving themselves their time and they're taking off 8 days of work maybe, so they shouldn't need to pay, which means that we need to pay for that. And then like food on the road and a little cushion, and all of that adds up to $915, which I understand is an insane amount of money, but we're going to do some fundraising to offset that. So Simples is a fundraiser for the people in the cities. It's a really easy fundraiser. We just need to get our friends and family in the cities to buy soup or pizza from the Simples company and put in our coupon code, and we get 1/4 of the sales, which is like a huge amount of money. I think we can totally raise $3,000 with that. Our Cloquet friends have done a Betty's Pies fundraiser, which sounds exciting. We'll try to do a car wash. And then there are a couple others here. The scholarship fund is something that Fabric has, and we're just going to take $100 off the top of the trip from there, like flat out. And also, there is money in the scholarship fund if you need more support. In a perfect world, when we fundraise all this money, that would put the cost down to $275, which would be pretty incredible, I think. So hopefully that is a little bit less scary than $900. Another thing to note about fundraising is we're just going to fundraise into one pot and divide it evenly by everyone. So know that that is happening. This is a big trip, and it's going to require some preparation. So I just mentioned fundraising. I want to be in shape for this trip, and I don't want to carry your pack too. So you better be in shape for this trip too. And we're going to do some group hikes to prepare ourselves. We'll do a couple virtual meetups to make sure we're on the same page about things. And I'm hoping to do a gear shopping day, which would be we could go to like the Repair Lair on Lake Street, and we could go to Sierra Trading Post and REI to get like a water bottle and cool pants or a sleeping bag or whatever extra things we might need. I should mention here that a lot of the gear, like the tents and the packs and the stoves and water purification and all that, is provided by the camp we're working with. We can't talk about this trip without talking about COVID. If you're going on this trip, we need you to be vaccinated and boosted. I'm going to require a negative test before we go. If you need help finding a test, I will help you find that test. And although we're not going to wear masks when we're together because we know we're vaccinated and had a negative test, if we're going into places like in town or with other people we don't know, we'll wear our masks. All right, if you are so on board, here's how you make your commitment. You send $100 to Fabric Minneapolis by February 1st, so you got about 2 weeks to make this decision. You can do that by sending a check in to 3751 17th Avenue South, or you can pay online using PayPal or Square. I also want you to email either Katie Anderson or myself that you're in, just so I know that's happening. So I'm so excited to go on this trip with you. Please call me, email me, text me your questions, and let's make this a great one. All right, bye. Thank you.